Naomi is the lead writer on the story.
I am.
Wrote the entire narrative.
Yes, and Alex is the lead developer and did a lot of things that I don't really understand.
Let's proceed.
Please.
What is Zombies Run? We don't know if you've heard of Zombies Run. Hopefully one or two in the audience. Anybody? No.
Oh, look, there are hands. Look, I couldn't see the hands.
Okay, well that's good. We're glad that some of you have heard about it.
Yeah. So, should we do a quick explanation of Zombies Run?
Go
Okay. Trying to hold this at the right distance from my mouth.
You're doing it.
Good, thank you. So, Zombies Run is a fitness game with a story. The idea is you are running in the real world away from zombies, which we have put in the headphones. It's an audio story. You can hear the zombies approaching. You have to run away from them. So this is how it goes. You're going run, 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 and behind you there are zombies going rah, rah. And so the way that it works is there's an ongoing story. You are runner 5. You come from a small base, a tiny, shivering remnant of humanity after the zombie apocalypse. We all know the zombie apocalypse is coming, right? It is imminent. It's very important to prepare. So you come from this small base, you have to go out and get supplies. As you run, thank you. As you run, you pick up supplies. So you'll see here, we've got, you picked up, like as you go along, running in the real world, right? On your phone, you've got it in your pocket. We're tracking, what are we tracking actually?
The speed that you're running at.
Yes, and we can see where you've gotten, can we?
We do record where you've run, but
okay.
One of the clever design features, as I'm sure you're going to explain, is that we don't mind where you run. You can run wherever you want.
Yes. So, you're running, it says you pick up supplies, you picked up bing, you picked up tin food, bing, you picked up batteries. Also, there is a story. Each time you go out running, there is a mission. So there's a reason for you to go out running. So it might be one day it's run aside, there's a child stuck in no man's land. You run and get them before the zombies get them. You get the idea. A lot of the zombie voices in the game are actually me. So the zombies are behind you, run, get the child, run. Or it might be the gates are stuck open. You have to run and distract the zombies so we can get the gates closed. So each time, what I was trying to do when writing it is as if I were writing a big one of those American TV series of 25 episodes, where each one has a story and the story builds across the season, and then you have a big finale. So there are stories about can we find out how the apocalypse happened, and there's a rivalry with another base, and sometimes they come and steal your stuff. So that's what's going on, and because we thought it was boring to just run with words, because you need that music to keep your motivation up and like to keep, get in the rhythm. So you go, we play a track of your music, and then we do a snippet of story, and then music, story, and this seems to work very well. It also works very well with juxtapositions. So, yeah, then when you get back home, you will have how many supplies you collected, whether or not you were chased by a zombie mob, which we haven't even talked about yet.
Oh my gosh.
No? And then when you get back home, do next one.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is my lovely assistant who's doing the slides. When you get back home, you can see you've got supplies, and there are different areas of the base you can put them to. So you can give if you give all your supplies to the hospital, then the hospital will level up, and then everyone in the hospital goes, thank God, we've got more things. Now we can go and do further investigations. Will you go and do this special mission for the hospital? So essentially, we're rewarding you for running with story, because everyone wants to run. Nobody really wants to run, but everyone wants to. So that's what we're doing, providing that motivation. Okay, what was our next slide?
Well, the next thing, we're going to talk about how we funded the game.
Oh, yes.
Because this was especially exciting for us. We're a small studio. The work we'd done up to this point was all games for companies. They requested the game, they paid us in advance, we made the game, it was fine. But with Zombies Run, we wanted to make our own game. And to do that, we needed to raise money. So we did that on Kickstarter.
We did.
Naomi, do you want to describe Kickstarter?
Yes. Are people familiar with Kickstarter? Yeah, anybody not familiar with Kickstarter? Yay, okay, well, we'll do Kickstarter quickly. The idea of Kickstarter is, you see here, it says 0 backers, £0 pledged of our $12,500 goal, 31 days to go. So the idea is, you go on Kickstarter, you make a video and a description of what it is that you want to make, and it can be games, but it can also be a book you want to write, or a theatre performance you want to do, or a jam that you want to make, you know, a kind of chocolate that you want to create. And you say, I will do it if I get this number of pre-sales. Now this is incredibly important for us. It's not investment. In other words, nobody gets profit from your product as a result of giving you money. They have simply said, I am very happy to give you $10 to buy your zombies game in advance, or whatever it might be. And you say, if I get that $12,500 goal, then everybody's money is taken, then I have money to make the product, and you know that you already have something of a market. And it also gives you a sense of how big your idea is. So, you know, I think this is a very important thing about Kickstarter. Incidentally, I think crowdfunding is very much the way of the future for weird ideas, for smaller ideas, for ideas which you might not be able to get funded in other ways. We've talked a lot about how we feel that we've worked with the BBC in the UK, but we felt like no commissioning organisation would really understand what we were doing. You know, if the BBC had come to us and said, make a fitness game, and we had come back and said, zombies, they would have gone, no, or more like British with a cup of tea, maybe. They would have sipped their tea and gone, no. And because it takes a certain kind of imagination to be able to see it. But this thing gives you the ability to go directly to consumers and see if they're interested. Now, I think it's very important to be able to take it. If you put something up on Kickstarter, people don't like it, then you've learned whether or not your product is successful. You know, you've learned it quickly and easily and without having spent 2 years trying to develop it and getting and then not making any sales. So, we had done a couple of projects before that had just about funded on time. And how did this project go, Alex?
Yes, indeed. Well, we said on our Kickstarter page that we needed $12,500 in order to be able to afford to develop the game. We've got everything set up, and you have no idea what's going to happen next. You have no idea how strongly people will respond to your idea. But we were delighted to, in fact, raise $72,000 from people who were excited about this game, from a total of 3,464 backers, which instantly is a huge validation if you have an idea for this many people to say, this is a great idea, we think you should do this, please make this game. And so we went forward and did so.
Yes. I would say also, there are some very interesting benefits to Kickstarter. Number one is that you find out how big your idea is. Number two is that you get instant marketing. People, if you have something like this, which has got a big buzz around it, obviously, compared to some of the things that are being funded on Kickstarter now, $72,000 is not that much. You know, the product being funded on there now has $5 million.
Yes,
yeah. Whereas, but you know, this is good seed capital for making a small app. So instantly, you have people saying, we were the highest funded game, or video game, of 2011.
Yes.
And so, you know, that generated a lot of press for us immediately. That meant that we were picked up by Boing Boing, we were picked up by Wired, even before we had launched the product. So that's number two of reasons of why Kickstarter is good. The other thing is, you end up with 3,500 people who really want you to make the product, which is interesting because they will try and help you. So we've had offers I mean, it's sometimes not in great ways. We had a lot of offers of audio help. We had people who wanted to put us in touch with great actors. What we had, which was incredibly useful for me, was a lot of our backers are military people who obviously have to do a lot of fitness training, and they're excited to do something that will make that more enjoyable. And yeah, so they were very helpful. They were very helpful in writing the game. When I would say, well, what would actually you say if your helicopter was coming down in enemy territory? And so I ended up speaking to a helicopter pilot who was amazing for this. Yeah, it's all been very good.
I'm just going to quickly check how we're doing for time.
Oh, we don't.
Time. Okay. All right, so from here we've made enough money to actually make the game.
Yeah.
So we did, and it's been tremendously successful since. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about why we think it actually has taken off so much.
I've thought of one thing that I don't think we've got in this presentation, but I think we should say it anyway.
Okay.
Which is, I think one of the things is that we really wanted it to be maximally accessible. I don't think we've said that.
Really?
But it was very important to me. You know, I came up with the idea with my friend Adrian Hon. He runs the company, the small games company that Alex works with. He is a runner. You know, he's one of those people who goes out on Sunday morning and runs 20 kilometers and comes back and goes and tweets, "Ran 20 kilometers this morning." That is not me. But I like to go for a walk. I think everybody wants to kind of go out and be more active and exercise, and it's nice to be outside if it's not raining in the UK. Take advantage of that.
It's raining in Madrid today.
But it's not raining like it rains in the UK. So for us it was very important to make sure that you could play the game even if you were walking. You can also, if you want to play it while biking, you can play it at the gym, you can use it on the treadmill, and I think that's part of the success. And certainly we had people quite early on coming to us and going, will I be able to play this even though I've got a banged up knee and I can't really run?
Yes. Yes, and we didn't put that in the slides, but we have got 3 other points in the slides which we think...
I might take my cardigan off.
Go for it.
Good.
Pause the cardigan.
Yeah.
Okay. Reason number 1, fitness app plus great story. What does that mean, Naomi?
So, until we made it, I did not realise that there had not before been a fitness game with a story. I don't think there had. If anybody can think of one, let me know. But at least not one with a really sort of substantial story. What you mostly get in fitness games is quite boring. You get like some coach going, now do 20 of these, and like you get a choice of whether they kind of speak to you assertively or speak to you nicely or kindly. But other than that, you don't really get very much. So it's the combination of those 2 factors, the idea of taking something that everybody wants to do, fitness in their daily life, yes?
Yep.
And making you want to do that using a story. Now, incidentally, I think this is probably the way of the future. I suspect that in my other life, as well as doing games, I write novels.
Yeah.
And I suspect that as time goes on, we'll be consuming more and more stories in more and more ways. It's the sort of acceleration of that process. Now there are stories in advertisements, and stories on packaging, and stories on the internet, and stories that come to us through text messages. You know, and I feel like our appetite for that is almost unlimited. So the idea of motivating you to do something using a story, I think, is going to be massive, incidentally. So, you know, but don't make the money, I want to make it.
All right,
yes. Do we have...
I think, yes, we've illustrated this with a diagram.
Yeah. Alex is very good at diagrams.
I did a diagram. We think that the 2 essential ingredients are that it's useful and it's compelling. The fitness, it's useful because it helps you get fit, and the story keeps it compelling. You put the 2 together and you get something awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so you've got useful, compelling is awesome, fitness and story is all, yeah.
2, motivation plus meaning.
Yeah. So, here is my thought about games. Games make you motivate action. If you think about an Xbox game, sort of boiled down to its most basic level, it is a set of things happening on a screen that motivate you to move your fingers in a certain way. Right? That's basically what it's doing. It's making you do some movements. Games are extremely good at making you do things. They will make you want to come back and do actions and observe things and monitor and make decisions. What a story can do, a real story, is to add meaning to those actions that you're taking. So what you're having in Zombies Run is you're being motivated to go out and run, yes, because of gamification and points, and you know, yes, you can see your base is growing bigger, that's fantastic. But also, there's a meaning to that. And when you're running, you're saving the lives of people whose voices you've heard in your ears. We've had players tweet at us to say that they've been crying whilst out running, and I'm like, that is a win! That is what I wanted! I wanted them to be weeping, and they were. It was very exciting. We have players falling in love with some of the characters and emailing us and going, I love him so much.
And then drawing pictures and writing stories and sending us those as well.
We've had fan fiction. So do you have a diagram?
Yeah, I did my best to put this on the diagram. Because it's a game, it's motivates you to fitness, and the story is the component that provides the meaning. So, I mean, it's clear, the diagram says motivation plus meaning. Awesome is where we're going with this. Number 3.
So how this all gets put together. Actually, you wanted to say something about being the hero.
About being the hero?
Yeah,
well, I think the difference, maybe an interesting difference between Zombies Run as a game and, again, something like Call of Duty as a game. And Call of Duty is a game, actually, I'm a big fan of. I've played all of them. But the difference is that, again, with a video game, like you say, it's fun sticks, and you are pretending that you are the character on the screen. But what we've done with Zombies Run, the way the story is relayed to you, actually, you yourself are the central character. We've actually put you in the position of being the person who is doing all of the work to rescue the small town.
What we've done with that character of Runner 5, that character is absolutely empty. They never say anything. We haven't even defined what gender they are. Believe me, that's quite hard to write. A whole story, never saying what gender the main character is. Interesting, that. But my idea for Runner 5, this character, is that it's you. It's absolutely you. And that's the story of the zombie apocalypse, right? You were in the zombie apocalypse. Everyone that you loved died. You know, take a moment. and then you were thrown together with a bunch of people, and now you have to survive. And actually, your decisions are very simple when you're just wanting to survive. There are a few sort of more complicated, chewy decisions about who you trust, but mostly there are zombies behind you. You're going to run away from them. Yes. So, do we have a diagram?
I mean, I wondered if you'd ask. It was getting quite hard to squeeze everything onto the diagram at this point. I've done my best. Hero, like in a movie. That again, you know, hero motivates you. Action, and then if that's an action hero, that makes you an action hero, which is awesome. I mean,
No, I mean, I think we should...
Okay, well, I did panic a bit, so I made a simpler diagram. I thought, zombies equals awesome. Good. Yes, absolutely. So we should be coming close to the end of our time, but we've got a few numbers which show off the fact that this game is doing well, which we're obviously very pleased with.
Yes. We've had a sort of interesting time with it because we've been charging for the App Store an enormous sum of money for this game. We've been charged. We've priced the game at $8. Yeah, I'm going to wait for everybody to calm down.
Apparently, this is heresy. This is a very dangerous thing to do, we've been told.
Yes.
A lot of people, as we were planning the pricing decision, said, you must be crazy, this is going to kill the game. Nobody is possibly going to buy an $8 game.
Yeah.
But
people tried to rugby tackle us to the ground, trying to grab for our throats, saying, no, you can't do it. You can't price a game at $8. But
well, our response was that we think that this is a meaningful game. There's a point to buying this game. It does something very important. And when people are, we believe, looking at considering whether to buy the game, they're comparing it to the cost of buying a membership to a gym, which can be hundreds of dollars a year. So it's quite an easy purchase when you think that the game is going to do a good thing for you.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we felt that we wanted to be compared to health and fitness products. If you're buying a pedometer, you would pay $8 for that, you know. If you're buying a diet book, or, I don't know, like one kind of healthy meal or something, you would pay $8. So we wanted to be compared to that. We wanted to make a statement about value. Also, pragmatically, we had promised our Kickstarter backers that they were paying us $10 for $20 worth of value, so we have to find some way to make it all add up to $20. This is very important. We love our Kickstarter backers, we don't want to screw with them. So yeah, in the game so far, do you want to say the statistics?
Well, yes, I mean, you can read them from the screen, but what we've done is we've, based on the usage data that we've collected from the game. We can sum everything up and work out how much everybody has done in total. So if you add together all of the time that everybody who's been playing our game has spent running, that's equivalent to a single person running for 30 years continuously. That's over a total of 200,000 separate missions that people have run as Runner 5. So Runner 5 has really been a worldwide hero by this point. And if you add together all of the distances that everybody has run, the whole thing adds up to 700,000 miles, which we understand is more than the distance between the moon and the ground. Thank you.